Hi, this is James One. It's James, the Wine Guy, here to share this fortified wine with you today. It's a very familiar label to many of you out there. This is Fonseca bin number 27, Porto, and this is the finest reserve. And I really enjoy the packaging. I think it's absolutely beautiful, and of course, a very familiar Porto certification stamp or seal, and the back panel here. Now, Fonseca is an interesting brand and label, and that's because this brand came in the 1822. And what I think is really remarkable is that this was released, this is considered a family reserve wine. This is only for the family to enjoy. In 1972, it's released to the general public. And from this point forward, it's been a huge success. Now, this is a 20% wine. Now, it's fun to understand port, or at least try to understand it, because it's a multifaceted wine, and it's fortified with brandy or neutral grape spirit. And that is something to, you look at a historical perspective. When the French and the British were at war with each other, the British needed a wine supply, while the French were usually the supplier. Now, to get from Portugal to Britain, they wouldn't make it that often, because the wines would just, it was just too delicate and wouldn't survive the journey. So fortifying this helped to extend this lifetime, and that benefit is really useful today, because it's a wine that will last for a very long time. So that's why you can open this up, and all ports have this, put back on top, kind of a screw cap, little cork enclosure. So that's a really fun factoid. I think it just shows you how the mother invention is moments of need. So yes, we do need wine, and the British needed wine. So this is one great way for them to enjoy it. And from that point forward came a very fine tradition. Now, port is something that I enjoy year-round, and definitely after a meal. I think it's just a wonderful digestif, but it's just a wonderful way to just enjoy that moment of closing that mealtime out with those that you want to be around, those family members, those friends, and a fantastic experience. So it's a beautiful colored wine, and you see that coloration. They don't really say the grapes in here, and I went online and I want to know, and I think that's a great shame when it's not said there. I mean, I can make a guess: Torrego Nacional, Tinto Rich, probably the usual very Douro-specific varietals that are in this wine. And but I think there's a really interesting thing about port wine, that is, it's loved, and it's a wine that's rejoiced. And in some ways, it's obscured the non-fortified Portuguese wine industry, which is a very vibrant wine industry. It's one where excellent wines are made, and yet it's kind of like this takes center stage oftentimes, many times, as just the Hungarians do with their wine. And Tokaj is one of the wines that, when you think of Hungarian wines, you think of Tokaj. Well, you should. It's an excellent wine. But you should also think of the still wines that they're making, not just the still wines, but the non-fortified wines. Yes, I do make sparkling wine as well. Now, this wine is a fantastically great value, something that I think is reasonably priced. I think you can find this in the U.S. anywhere, say, from the mid-15s, probably all the way up to $22. And for that, it's a really fantastic way to enjoy the holiday season. And I think this is a time that a lot of people are just, they buy their wines, they layer that on with a port wine, and maybe start off with the sparkling wine or the champagne in the beginning. But, I think it's just a great experience to enjoy it year-round. So here we go, a little taste and a little feedback. Really beautiful wine. Now, when you think of this wine, 20%, there is some heat on the finish. Now, when you're tasting this, you're tasting beautiful notes of clove and chocolate and blueberry and blackberry confit, a little bit of mushroom on the finish. And I think that's an earthiness. It's a beauty. It's a great quality to this wine. So you look at this dark, viscous, sticky wine. This wine gets a 9.0 out of a 10.0 scale. For more reviews, please go to jamesthewineguy.com. Please subscribe to my videos on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Vimeo. Salud.